We have a possibility of severe weather in the Ozarks, but some good news in the sense that we're not the center of it like we have been the last couple of times. And it might work out that the storms are fading away as they come in at night, and then when they resurge the next day, not all of the Ozarks will be included. Still kind of some speculation going on here. But as always, let's start out by at least looking at the 500 millibar chart. This is just kind of the highway where all the storms are headed, the bigger storms aloft, like that circulation you see right out here through Nevada. That is a big player, of course, in this entire game, and these are the upper level winds that are coming around the side of it here. Now, one thing to note about this is when we talk about troughs, this is just kind of a neutrally tilted trough with a cutoff to it. And as this moves out into the plains here, what you're going to see is that this becomes a positively tilted trough. That doesn't mean that severe weather is restricted by any means, but it does change the definition of how the severe weather will break out a little bit. So let's kind of move this forward. This is initialized this morning about 7 a.m., and we're going to move forward here, and we'll check out just for sampling here. This is this evening. So what'll happen this evening is these upper level winds are just now getting into the high plains. So there's a severe weather risk roughly in this area right through here. I'm actually considering a storm chase to here because I have about 8 hours on my hands, 9 hours on my hands today. That's a small chance, and it'd be very isolated if it did happen, but it could be a pretty good storm if one were to break out there. But that won't affect the Ozarks. Let's go forward here. Now, this is Tuesday morning right here. Now this streak in the upper wind pattern is right here. And that always happens to me. It remembers where I was, right here. And this thing is going to be rapidly moving into Iowa and Minnesota and parts of northern Missouri. And that's where I think the majority of the severe weather will be breaking out, and the most intense severe weather anyway. And I'll show you the outlooks here in a minute. Now, we're sitting here quiet on Tuesday in the morning, not much going on. And then we'll go to Tuesday here. This is Tuesday. Let's go to Tuesday evening, right about here. So this troublemaker of a jet stream pattern is now way up here in Wisconsin, and it will leave a trail of damaging winds, hail, and probably some strong tornadoes up there. The trailing end of this is always something we have to watch right in through here. A lot of times, low-level wind fields can kick in right here, especially at this part of the jet streak here, this rear right entrance region. And so you'll see, and when I show the outlook in a minute, they do kind of put the severe weather probabilities down in through here, but not really totally into the Ozarks. And I really do think that scattered severe storms with the possibility of tornadoes will be out in Kansas and Oklahoma, but it's not necessarily going to be in a rush to come flying in here Tuesday night. It's a possibility still, but I really think that when they do come in, they'll be weakening a little bit. But having said that, if you live west of Springfield or northwest of Springfield, you got a better chance in the evening, especially in the late evening, of seeing some of those storms cross the line over to us. So we'll definitely be watching that very carefully. Now, Tuesday is interesting. We'll move this jet streak forward here. This is Tuesday, right around midday, about 1 o'clock. So there's another little disturbance kind of hanging out back here a little bit here. Notice how the flow kind of kinks a little bit. And that is going to allow moisture to come back north here. And I'll show you in the outlook what that means. Now, this is probably the biggest question mark, is how far north will that convection and the unstable air be allowed to come? And if it's a little bit farther north than this, then much more of the Ozarks will be under the gun on Tuesday for a resurgence of severe weather. If not, then the outlooks that I'll show you here in a minute will stand. And so what kind of weather are we talking about? Well, because of the nature of this, I think it'll be severe wind and hail with a small tornado risk, possibly late Monday night. And then on Tuesday, all three modes would be possible if it were to surge all the way through the Ozarks. Let me show you the outlooks here and you'll see what I mean. Well, I did want to show you the bigger picture on Monday. So this is a 4 out of 5 risk for severe weather up here in the northern plains. So northern Iowa, central Iowa, Minneapolis included in this, a big chunk of southwest Wisconsin under a moderate risk of severe weather. So again, 4 out of 5, right here's the scale. So that's pretty good. And notice how this stretches all the way down into Texas. So this area right here is of a concern. I'm just going to continue this thought process here just so I can show you what some of the other outlooks are. Here's the tornado outlook. So a 15% probability. This means 15% chance within 25 miles of a tornado in that exact same moderate risk area for Monday late in the day. Maybe not so late in the day. It could be going on by just after noon. And this is still a 5% tornado risk that kind of goes through Columbia and just stops short of around Nevada, not quite to Joplin, down into Oklahoma City. So again, that would be interpreted as thunderstorms breaking out here and then sliding this way as the evening progresses. And just to finish this off, I want to show you the significant risk of a large tornado or a damaging tornado, EF2 through EF5, is up in this area of Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa for tomorrow as well. So now let's go to a close-up look of Springfield. X marks the spot for Springfield, and you can see the gradient decreases pretty quick. So not all of the Ozarks is in this for Monday night, and it steps up pretty quick as you go to the north and west of Springfield. So we go from the level 1 to the level 2, and this is all modes of severe weather: hail, high winds, and tornadoes. And so that's for Monday. So again, the interpretation there would be anything that develops out here would slide and kind of bend as it comes in. So it might form like this and then kind of go like that and then kind of go like that and then slide into the Ozarks and probably fade that night, or at least fade in severity. Then we go ahead to Tuesday, and I want you to notice how this line was drawn. And this is actually has changed. The line used to be here, and forecasters are wise here because they do recognize, they kind of moved it north here a little bit, recognizing there's going to be a return flow of unstable air through here on Tuesday. So if that continues its trend, then we might put more of the Ozarks under this yellow or slight risk area on Tuesday, but the frontal boundary will be here. So Tuesday, I think, needs some fine tuning. Of course, you might expect that. I'm recording this on Sunday, so there's always going to be a little bit of revision to these forecasts. Again, it would be all modes on this day. I would think on Tuesday, the strongest tornado risk would probably be back here, but you know how that works. If you watch the weather in the Ozarks, they form out here, and then they kind of slide into southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas later on Tuesday evening. So be aware of that as well. So we do have severe weather threats on Monday and Tuesday. They kind of flip-flop. It's to the northwest on Monday in the evening late, and then it's southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, a chunk of northwest or northeast Oklahoma on Tuesday. Subject to that, maybe moving a little bit more to the north to include more of the Ozarks, and maybe an enhancement to the next level. The enhanced risk, basically that level 3, would be necessary, and some of that might touch upon the Ozarks as well. So, of course, I'll be watching this very carefully. As always, stay alert, and at least we're not in the bullseye of it like we were last time. I'll bring you more updates as we get more information. Probably tomorrow, I'll probably also go ahead and put out the Weather to Watch video, which is more of a national look at things today, which will duplicate a lot of this, but you'll get to see the bigger picture with that as well.